Alright, so for those watching post-stream, I was not expecting this to happen at all. I've done nothing to break this. Somehow it just breaks. Somehow it just breaks. I didn't even do a thing, and it just happens. So I know it's a Mac thing. It tends to break, but yeah. Go to turn it on. It just sits there and does absolutely nothing. And then when I go to turn it off, turn it back on, and then it just starts turning on, then shutting off halfway through. Yet, as you can see, it boots the recovery partition just fine, and it's still going. In fact, the screen is ridiculously bright. Absolutely ridiculously bright, because I reset the NVRAM, and when you reset the NVRAM, my god, the internal display gets really freaking bright. But you can't change the brightness at the moment. I'm trying the brightness keys, and it's not doing anything. So, here's what we're going to try to do. I'm on my Windows tablet here, and this person's saying, shut the Mac off and continue to hold the power button well after you hear the Apple chime. I've tried that. Actually, let me show you. Let me get my mouse here. We'll go into disk utility. And I'm not convinced it's the bad hard drive, because obviously it was just working last night. So when I go to first aid, actually, let me make sure I get the right one. Let's see. It's mounted currently, so we're going to run first aid. And I'll show you why I'm not convinced, because it still seems like it wants to boot, but then it just shuts off halfway through. So I think it's just an operating system issue. I might try verbose mode. I have not tried it yet. But I'm doing everything I can to not have to reinstall macOS High Sierra. See, it says that it's failed. You can see it right there. Ugh, God. It says that it's failed, and when you show the details, it just shows problem has a check exit code 8. This is an HFS Plus volume. It might. And thankfully, I have my MacBook somewhere that I can use to download a Mac program in case I need to. So I'm not totally stranded, except for if I needed to target disk mode, because I don't have a Mac other than my iMac with Thunderbolt or FireWire, other than an old PowerPC. But obviously I don't have any FireWire cables either to adapt to the Thunderbolt port anyway. So it's kind of a mess. But I will look into that later. But it's now permanently unmounted, and I can no longer mount the drive. But I'm going to try one thing real quick. I'm going to shut the Mac down. And then there's a solution here that just says you'll hear a long beep after you shut it down. And there it goes. Now it's shutting down. Okay. I was wondering what it was doing. It's still shutting down, so I'll have to give it a second here. Because I reset the NVRAM, so it's going to be a little slow. But that's fine, because I reset the NVRAM, so that's perfectly fine. I was expecting it to be this slow, because obviously it's going to be that way. Okay. So they say you'll hear a long beep, and then we'll reboot once again. So let's see. Hopefully I don't have to reinstall macOS High Sierra, because this thing is doing a Windows 10 Fall Creators update. This PC right here, so hopefully I don't have to do that. Very bad connection, my ass. You know what? For the moment, I'll just shut this off. Let me just shut it down. Let's just shut it down. Shut it down. The Windows tablet's been holding up really well. I'm actually really liking this thing a lot for what it is. I mean, obviously, don't expect to be able to run a lot on this tablet, considering it's got only 2 GB of RAM and 64-bit Windows. But it's great for running Firefox Quantum, because as you can see, Firefox Quantum is working working great. And Fall Creators Update on this thing really hasn't affected it all that much. It's actually been pretty smooth, other than, of course, a little bit of the stutter animations when you're running the display at native resolution, but it's nitpicking. Okay, so we're going to try this guy's suggestion of continuing to hold the power button well after you hear the Apple chime and hearing a long beep. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we're going to try it. I'm not convinced it'll work. I have my doubts, but Still holding the power button. God, you can't even see my hand because the screen's so dang bright. But I'm still holding the power button. Supposed to hear a long beep. Nothing. That was me holding the power button the whole time. So yeah, I wasn't convinced that that guy's solution was going to work, and indeed it didn't. So we're gonna try this one. We're gonna try doing the verbose boot. So that'll be a very useful thing. Well, I'm not gonna do one thing. Well, the one thing that you're suggesting me from the one. I'm going through different steps. So let's try verbose mode. Command V. I've already done an SMC reset, and I've already done the NVRAM. What is it saying? Checking catalog file. I think that's where it was getting stuck on the disk first aid, was the catalog file, and then it just shut down. So it very well could be that I have a bad install. Yeah, see, boot task failed, shutting down. Okay, so it's failing the disk check. Huh. I don't know if that's been logged anywhere else, or that zoom is really quite small. Let me do another verbose boot. Let me get that pictured here real quick. I'm going to use another device to do that, so Command V. There it goes. I'm going to grab another device here so I can take a picture of the boot up process. And then, let's see if I can get it to focus. The screen's so dang bright that it probably won't even work. Okay, so let's see if I can... Oh, I guess I need my fingerprint. Alright, so let's see here. Let's get a better look at this, hopefully. Moto E4 doesn't exactly have the best camera, but I'm shooting with an iPhone SE, and my iPhone 6S is in another room charging, so I'll make do with what I have right now. But it says it cannot be verified completely. Emergency boot task failed. FSCK-safe. Shutting down in 3 seconds. So that's why it's shutting down, is because it's failing a disk check. So, okay. Because again, system integrity protection is engaged. So I guess that makes some kind of sense. But I can't force a disk check. So, give me just 1 second. We're gonna go ahead and delete everything in there. Whoops. We'll look up this program that you're convincing me to use. We'll see if it's worth a toss. Because the problem is, I can't even get it to boot, but I can get it in the recovery mode. So maybe I might be able to get it to work in the recovery partition through just using it on a USB stick. But the problem is, I'm not going to buy a piece of software I'm only going to use once. That's the problem. If it's a paid program, I'm gonna say sorry, but I can't use it. And I'm just going to do a fresh install of macOS High Sierra, which would suck because I'm going to have to strangle the Ethernet cable from my mom's room all the way into here because she's borrowing it, but I'll have to strangle into here. Or maybe what I might do once I get macOS High Sierra installed, if I can get it installed, is I'm going to maybe make a boot camp partition of Windows 8.1, and then I'm going to do a little bit of crystal disk info on it and see what's going on. That might be what I'll do. Because if I can get all my files back onto macOS High Sierra after just doing a reinstall, which it should normally do if you don't format the hard drive, I'm going to definitely partition the drive, install Windows, and then I'm going to check the disk with crystal disk info. Because that'll definitely give me an insight as to what's going on. So, yeah. That's... Hang on, let's see... I'm not typing this properly, aren't I? This website's not made for a touchscreen. I wonder why. Supports HFS, HFS Plus. APFS discs are not currently supported, which is fine because that's just a regular spinning hard drive. It is available in OS 10.7 recovery. Good. It's very good. I wonder if mine would actually boot from a USB. I don't think so, but that might be a possibility. I know some of the Intel Macs certainly do. Okay, so I know I look like crap, but that's because I'm on a school night right now and I haven't yet gone into a shower because this happened. So we're gonna go ahead and go Command R again. My God, that screen is ridiculously bright when you reset the NVRAM. Look at the brightness difference on my face. It's ridiculous. Come on. Okay, there's the Apple logo. Trying to read the comments here that I've gotten. Well, at the very least, I'm gonna go grab my MacBook, and I might try and do a little bit more research, because at least my MacBook I can actually like see the screen. Not that I couldn't see it on the tablet, but you can only do so much with a Windows tablet before you gotta say, I need a real freaking computer. The problem with 2017/2018 computing, when Microsoft thinks that everything needs to have a freaking touchscreen, and then when you realize when the touchscreen don't work and you actually need a physical keyboard and mouse, you ain't gonna have USB ports to plug them into, because you'll need dongles, and if you don't have dongles, then you gotta buy some, but if you don't have money, you can't buy them, so you effectively got a lemon. Which is why I use these older computers. Okay. So, I got the MacBook here, and we're just going to go to Google real quickly. Once I wait for it to connect to the wireless, there we go. Okay, yeah, this is a funny joke. Look at that. Disillusion of marriage papers posted into a community classified. Great job, people. Let's see, Mac, disk, repair, software. Okay. Because the problem is I don't have the money to buy a software program that I'm only going to use once. That's my biggest problem. $130 for that, $1.39, $100. That's not a disk repair software or anything. That's $100. That's a cleaner program. Drive Genius, $100. Carbon copy cleaner. Well, I wish I could use that, but I ain't got anything for it, you know? Whatever. Huh. That's interesting. So that's probably for older Mac OS operating systems. Shut the tablet off. So yes, English. I can kind of read Spanish, but I ain't gonna pull that right now. Okay, so it's on the Mac OS utility screen. So I'm probably going to go ahead and reinstall Stellar Volume Repair. Well, there's a stellarinfo.com. Compatible with Mac OS Sierra, but I'm running High Sierra. Look, you can tell. And yes, there can be incompatibilities between one version of OS 10, or in this case Mac OS, and the next. I don't know. The problem is, can't... Wait, hang on. Enables you to create a bootable USB. Okay, so what's the point of downloading the free program if it's just a scanner? But if you have to fix the drive, you still have to pay for the program. I can't pay for programs right now. I don't have the money. I really don't. Sorry to tell you, but anything that I have to pay for, I'm not gonna get to pay for because I can't pay for it. So, sorry to say that, but probably not going to be able to fix it through a utility. So I'm just going to go ahead and reinstall the macOS. It's what the best thing I can do right now. Oh yeah, the recovery server cannot be contacted, probably because there's no network. And I don't trust the Wi-Fi here. I don't trust the Wi-Fi here. I've done it before, but that was a macOS 10 Lion. I don't trust it with High Sierra. Shut this lamp off. Come on. There we go. There the light goes, finally. Alright, so I need to borrow the Ethernet cable off my mom's computer, which is technically my Ethernet cable that she's using for her desktop because she still hasn't bought a Wi-Fi adapter for it because whatever reason. Come on. So I need to... No, I've not checked mail.
Okay, well, we got that check coming from Grandpa. So,
well, I haven't checked it, and I don't know why you didn't check it while you're outside. You could have done it after.
Huh?
Could have done it because I need my Ethernet cable. Because my iMac decided to take a dump for no random reason. Or for some random reason, and I need to have this so I can reinstall because I can't seem to get any method of repair to work. And I don't trust the Wi-Fi. You have to bury it under 1,000 different shoes. Okay, let's go try. Oh, don't drop my thing here. I've got the Ethernet cable plugged in. It should show up as working now. Okay. Let's do it this time. Let's see. Continue. If it's just going to be in the recovery partition, I'm going to unplug the second screen. If I can get it out of the... There we go. Out of the Thunderbolt. I press continue. I'm still waiting. Well, I guess in the meantime, we can go and browse the internet. Oh, there it goes. Alright, agree. Agree. You need to install it onto this drive. And it's locked. Great. That's installing updates. That's fine. Why is the internal hard drive locked? Why is it locked? Oh my god, seriously. We're gonna have one of these sorts of stupid things. Here's to hoping I don't have to reinstall Lion, because if I have to install Lion, I'm gonna be pissed. I'll be absolutely pissed if I'm gonna have to reinstall it. Seriously. Really don't want to do this right now. I don't know why the drive is locked, because everything's right here. Macintosh HD. Wait for it to Let's see what version of Firefox Quantum we're on this time. 57.0.2. Nice. Let's go plug on over to YouTube here. And this is not a good sign when the Finder window freezes. It might actually have some bad sectors. I don't know. The problem is I have no way of checking it. So, every time I go to check it, it just fails the... What was it that it fails? Here, let me restart. And let me boot it up in verbose mode so you can see what I'm talking about. When I boot it into verbose mode, which is always a nice thing to have, thank God it actually still works. Notice it checks the catalog file right down there. But eventually, you'll see something that's not very good, not very promise-inducing. It says that it's failed, and now it's shutting down the computer. Because it cannot do a disk check properly, so it just shuts off. However, I can still boot the recovery, so I'm not sure what's going on. Although what I'm going to go ahead and do this time, actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to boot up and hold Option. Now I do have the Ethernet cable plugged into the back. I'm not trusting the Wi-Fi here because I don't trust Wi-Fi with this sort of stuff with a lick of anything. So now that we're in the option menu, I'm going to go and press Command R. Or does it? Yep. Okay. It is gonna boot the internet recovery off the internet using the Ethernet as it should. Because see, this long cable goes all the way into there where the Wi-Fi router is. I don't have any kind of extender set up at the moment to give me extra Ethernet ports at a closer distance. I don't have that at the moment. Or a repeater or Wi-Fi range extender, or whatever the heck you call those things this week. Technology things always have different names. Well, let's see here. I figure we'll check my channel real quickly, because I'm getting closer and closer to hitting a bigger number of subscribers, which is really cool. Here's my stream. Maybe the corrupted HFS format by the meaning of the error. Well, here's what's odd. I went to go turn it on today, and it just sat there at the Apple logo with a progress bar. But yesterday it was fine. Perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong. Absolutely nothing was wrong. Shut down fine. No abnormal behavior with this thing. And just go to boot it up today, and it just... No. It's dead, Jim. Actually, no, I take that back. I didn't actually shut it down last night. Whoops. I left it going, because usually I leave it going so that way I don't have to wait for it to boot up. And it's usually easier on some systems to leave them on than to keep turning them on and off, because considering how often I use this thing, usually you don't have to worry about turning it off, because I don't really use it that much because I'm always busy. I usually only really use it on the weekends. So, yeah. So that's the thing. But I don't leave it on 24/7, of course. So I'm wondering if, because I came back to it today, and it was just at a blank screen. Went to go reboot it, and then I got stuck on the Apple logo being there forever and ever, and then it just started doing this crap where it would boot up, and then it would be stuck halfway on the progress bar, and then it would shut down. It just happened today after that thing stalled on the blank screen. So I'm thinking something happened with the hard drive or whatever. It is the original 1 terabyte drive in this machine, so it could have been... It could have just died. It could have just had a formatting problem and it just died. Which is plausible considering the drive in this machine is nearing... let's see. This is a mid-2011 iMac. So yes, it would be about roughly 6.5 years old, which I know it's kind of sort of premature death. It's on the verge of that sort of thing, on the verge of premature death and, I guess average hard drive life. I'm just hoping that it hasn't died like totally. So what I'm going to do, because the built-in recovery can't seem to do a disk check on the drive, what I'm doing is I'm going to just boot the rather sad but still functional macOS 10.7 Lion internet recovery. Yes, this machine shipped by default with Lion, which is going to be a pain in the rear if I'm going to have to use that to reinstall, but it'll have to do if I have to use it. We'll just try to do a disk first aid on Lion, although I don't know how accurate that's going to be considering it's running on a internet recovery. And this is going to be checking a macOS 10.13 volume, so that's going to be interesting. And our internet sucks as always, and I'm not making it any better by live streaming, so this actually may take a while. Yeah. But that's okay, because having live feedback and troubleshooting is always beneficial. Yeah. But if anything, I'll just format the drive because it's just a tradition. I can't speak today. I'll just format it because it's a traditional hard drive. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just going to hurt me because all my files are on it, and I have, at the moment, no backups because I just don't have the space. I just don't have anything to put the files onto. This is literally the only machine with my one. This is the only 1 terabyte hard drive I own. Everything else is at least 500 gigs or below, and I need more than 500 gigs to store all my files, so I haven't had the money to buy an external hard drive because I just haven't had the money, so yeah, that would suck if I would have to lose all my files. I'm hoping I don't. I should just be able to reinstall the Mac OS and keep all my files, but that's not guaranteed. It'd probably be best to format the hard drive and reinstall anyway, but I really don't want to have to do that if I don't have to, but if I have to, I will, because I have no backups, and that would suck because I have some videos already in queue and editing. I would lose my Windows 10 virtual machine that I activated with a real license, so that's great. The Windows 98 and ME virtual machines I really wouldn't give a crap about because, of course, they're just Windows 98 and ME. I can always reinstall those. But yeah, that would really suck. And we are at the recovery for Lion, and I know it's Lion because it's got the skeuomorphic background and the flying text. And it actually calls itself macOS 10. Okay, so let's just use the disk utility in Lion. Let's see if we can scan the drive. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you can really hear it at all, but it's sitting there, it's crunching right now. Endless crunching. Might be better to hear it from the back. Although, I doubt you're going to be able to hear it because audio compression on the live stream, but, yeah. That's just freaking great. No, it certainly mounted it. Look at that. I'm actually surprised it mounted the drive. Look at that. There it is. Yeah, I'm really not surprised if this drive is dead because it's a stupid piece of crap Seagate drive. So it really wouldn't surprise me if this is dead because Seagate drives typically don't last very long. It's mounted. So let's do a disk first aid. I'll go up to... Right, this disk utility is a little different than what I'm used to, so I'm gonna have to verify the disk. Let's see here. Let's see what it says. Yeah, if anything, it'll probably get a Western Digital drive. Okay, so the partition map's fine. That's not surprising considering it was able to boot into its own recovery partition, which it should. Let's see, mount the internal partition. Can we do that? Can we just mount that? It's not mounting. So, yeah, it's froze the disk utility. No surprise. Wah wah. Yeah, that's yep, it can't mount it. Okay, well, since it's unmounted, I'm gonna try a repair anyway. Updating boot support partitions for the volume as required. Fortunately, in case this machine has died, I do have the gaming PC that I can use in the meantime to make emergency videos. I can just download a free video editor and use it in the meantime. Although, since I have my MacBook, which is right here, and it has on it, let me log in here real quick. I probably just got my password wrong. Yes, I certainly did.
So one was the catalyst to the other.
Oh no, this one has a different password on it. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this one I do have iMovie on it, and it is working. It's just that this is a Core 2 Duo machine. It's my mid-2010 MacBook, so it's only a Core 2 Duo. But this will work in the event that I do need to emergency edit videos. It will work just fine for 720p video. This is already rendered 1080p. So, I mean, that's all fine and dandy. So if I need to use this to edit video, that's fine. And it's got 6 GB of RAM, which is over what Apple says is the maximum, which is nice to have the extra RAM because, of course, when you're editing, you always want to have the extra RAM for caching of your video files, of course. So this thing is still updating boot support partitions for the volume as required. It says the volume repair is complete, which I'm not believing it. I'm really not believing it. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to let it do its thing. I wonder if I'll have to do anything in the terminal to do a disk check. That might be something I'll have to do because... don't dim on my screen. I wonder if the disk utility just isn't doing what I'm wanting it to do, and I might do a disk check manually using the terminal. I wonder if that's possible. I've never actually thought about that. That might actually be beneficial. Of course, I can't do it on the internal drive, but since I'm at it, let's see. Give me just a second. I'm going to set you guys down real quick, and you're going to have to see my double chin here real quick.
He said he needed to drive it.
Let's see here.
So he did that today. And
try the disk util verify permissions and repair permissions commands. I might try these as well, and those might work. That might be something that might be doable. How am I at in my battery? Oh, I'm at 72. I'm doing pretty good. So for those who haven't been on my Discord and whatnot, I actually purchased a $100 iPhone SE 32 gig off of LetGo, and it's actually been pretty nice. And the reason why I say that is because it's running iOS 10.3.3, not iOS 11. So I've not only been getting fantastic battery life from this iPhone SE, but fantastic performance as well. It's so much less buggy than iOS 11. I love it. I mean, this phone literally feels about as fast as an iPhone 7. It seriously is fast. I love it. Of course, it's not my daily phone. My daily phone is my iPhone 6S. So, up. That's the error I was expecting to see. There it is. There it is. Can't repair this disk. Back up as many of your files as possible. Reformat the disk and restore your backed up files. So, I do have a few USB sticks that I can use, and I can also use this a little bit because it does have some storage. Let me just move these out of the way here real quick.
I watched probably a whole
Let's see here. What do we got? I got 94 gigs on my 128 gig SSD here, so that might be something I can use. Yeah, you said it, but try the commands. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to try the terminal commands because I'm guessing that disk utility isn't exactly figuring it out. So, all right, let me go ahead and go open the terminal here. All right, we're at a terminal. So I don't think I'm gonna have to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna type in sudo. I don't think I'll have to, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Or no, I don't need to do sudo. I'm already at the root. Let's see, disk util, repair, permissions, / no packages can be found for this disk. Not a directory. Oh, it's probably because it's not mounted. I'm an idiot. It's because it's not mounted. Whoops. Well, that won't exactly help any. Okay, so I think that's because I'm in internet recovery. It's not finding the disk. So let me reboot back into the internal recovery partition. So Command R without going into the option menu first. And it should go straight into the recovery partition, and I'll know it because it'll have the Apple logo come up first, not the globe. Yep. Now it's booting off the internal recovery partition. Because the reason why I know this is the internal one is because it's got the flat Apple logo. The internet recovery would have had the stylized little Apple logo with the borders around it and the sort of skeuomorphism. So I'm going to try this again. Excuse me, while I'm in the internal recovery, and I'm going to see if that will I'll fix it. At least I'm going to try that verify and repair permissions first, although I don't think I'm going to have that work. There's some other ones as well. Verify volume and repair volume. I'm going to try those as well. And also this, I'm going to try that too. So let's see here. Wait for this to boot up because it's going to take a little bit because, of course, it's the recovery. The drive sounds normal, even though it's extremely hard to hear. It sounds normal booting the recovery partition. So there's nothing wrong with the recovery partition side of the drive. That still seems to boot just fine. So thank God for small miracles in that regard. But I'm not sure about the main partition because I tried to view it in the Finder in the recovery software, and I just could not get it to function. So my files might well and truly be lost. I don't know. I might try doing some ls commands in different directories and see if it can find the files. And if it'll ls the directories, then that'll be nice. It'll be, or not ls. Yeah, ls, because something like that. It's like, it's either list or ls in the Mac terminal. It's one of the two, because I know it's based on Unix, so they use pretty much the same terminal commands. See, I'm a little familiar with this, because I've had some experience with Linux and Unix before. So I know exactly what I'm looking at, but it's just that I don't know if this drive will let me do what I want to do necessarily without needing to format. Because a format might ultimately fix what I'm wanting to do, but I want to try and fix it without formatting the drive if I can help it, because I want to get my files off of it. All right, well that's a good sign. It usually fills the progress bar twice and then it works. So that's a good sign. Alright, we got no graphics acceleration, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're back in the High Sierra recovery partition. So let's go to the terminal in this, which will have access, hopefully, to the internal drive. Let's see, ls. Alright. Let's see, cd / can we do that? ls. Okay, so that's a good sign. It has the install macOS High Sierra app, although I'm questioning if this is the recovery partition or if this is actually the internal drive or the main partition. I keep saying internal drive. This is the internal drive. I'm an idiot. Let's go to the... Let me put my MacBook off to the side here for a second. Let's see. CD USR. Let's see if I can find my user here. This is not the main partition. This is the recovery. So let me go back to root. Let's see. Let me go to CD volumes.
Yeah, I can't think of the guy's name.
LS. Aha, there it is. Macintosh HD. So CD Macintosh. Whoops, I can't spell with one hand. Macintosh HD. Oh, probably because I misspelled it. I need to put the forward slashes in there, otherwise it's not going to work. Give me just 1 second. I need to type this out. You're going to have to see my double chin once again.
Well, if you would just keep your ears, you know.
And it's also case sensitive, so I have to watch out.
As I said, if Serena has somebody who might purchase it,
Huh.
then that's better off for me because
About
it's not here. But until then, you know, give me more parking. But
oh.
So
Dash T mount slash volume. Whoops.
And then the red truck
Volume slash Macintosh HD dash T.
So that'll be a good thing.
What kind of commands do we got here? I think it's already mounted because it's saying it, but I'm not sure. Well, anyway, I'm going to do a CLEAR. Oh, whoops. Or is it CL? Oh my god, I can't clear the terminal. Seriously. Probably because it's in Bash, not in the freaking Mac terminal. Okay, so what was the command that I needed to run that would fix the... let's see. Sorry, you're going to have to see my forearm a little bit, my armpit. Let's see. Disk util. Verify volume. /volumes /Macintosh HD. Verify. Ownership of the effective disk is required. Oh, right, because I'm probably not in root. So let me try sudo disk util.
More availability, I guess, so to speak.
Verify volume. /volumes /Macintosh HD.
Yeah.
There's no sudo in this. Well, that's just beneficial. Probably because I'm already in root, so I don't need a root or sudo. Blah. Blah. Let me see here. I think I'll just do /. I think I'll just do it that way. Disk util repair volume /. Unable to unmount volume for repair. Well, let's do that through disk utility then. Quit terminal. Disk utility. Let me get you guys back onto my screen so you can see what I'm doing. So I just want to take this and unmount. Okay, now it's unmounted. So let's go back to the terminal. And then let's try this again. Disk util repair volume. Hiren's boot CD. You know, it's actually not a bad idea if this thing boots from USB. That could be something. Yeah, it's Intel based, so it should work. Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't. But give me just 1 second. Let me just put this command into the terminal, the disk util repair volume /. Unable to unmount. I did unmount it. What the hell? I did unmount this drive. I got the same negative 69673 error that I was getting in disk utility. No, that's no different. So I wonder if that same thing would persist if I go to do a first aid on the drive. Alright, so here's what I'm getting. Oh, it probably is classified as that. I might need to get a picture of that. Or actually, I don't need to necessarily have a picture of it. I just need to put it into a text editor. Cannot spell. Let's just toss that in text edit so I can remember what the damn volume name is. Let's see, it is /dev/ rdisk 0s2. So that's my volume. That's the volume I want to look for. So let's go toss that. Yeah, the file system check exit code is 8. It's telling me my disk is probably toast, but I'm committed to fixing it without a format. Alright. Disk util repair volume /dev/ rdisk 0s2. It's probably going to give me another error. Oh, nope, I got it right. Okay, cool. It's already unmounted, which it was, so that's a good thing. Checking the catalog file. Probably going to error out again. Yep. File system check exit code 8. The same negative 698. No, that's a different negative 69 something error. So looks like it could not be verified, although I didn't ask it to verify. I told it to repair, but I guess I had to verify to see if there's anything wrong with it before it could repair. So that's where we are at. Let me look up that file system check exit code. Let's see, back to Safari. What does that say? Advised to do a Command S reboot and then run fscky. Maybe. Trying to read this post here. Huh. Well, that's one thing we could also try. Reboot, hold Command S. Get into single user mode. And then run fsck-y. And there we go. Now we're booted up in single user mode. So let's do that. fsck-y. Oh, right. I'm in the wrong directory. Oops. What directory are we even in? Oh, we're in the root. What directory is that in, I wonder? I don't even know. Well, we're in single user mode, so that's something. What's this Apple discussion post? This is from April. There might be some accurate-ish information. There's a thing with FSCK from single user mode. Alright, so let's see here. /sbin. Alright, sorry, forgot to put the cd command in there. There we go. FSCK-y. Why is there no FSCK command in there? Oh, not the Y version of it. Okay, let's just do this. FSCK. Just watch, it's going to shut the whole machine down as soon as I run this. It's going to shut it down, I just know it. It's going to do it. Yep, nope. IO error. Let's do FSCK underscore HFS. Oh, whoops, did I mistype it? Missing special device. Let's see. FSCK. Let's do a -R. Illegal option. Oh, you just type in the letter R, right? Or how the hell do you do this? Oh, let's see. FSCK. This is like it's like freaking check disk in MS DOS or something. Do 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 do. Is there an FY version in there? FSCK-FY. Because force and assuming yes response. So we could try that. But I'm going to do a dash. Let's see. FRY. Let's just do that. That's not going to let me do it. Probably because I didn't. I'm not used to friggin' Unix command line. No, it's not clickbait. You're just in the wrong stream because I'm trying to troubleshoot it on a live stream right now. So, you can consider it clickbait, but this is just me saying that it's broke and I'm trying to fix it live stream, hopefully with help of other people. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not like Snazzy Labs, wherever he has a Mac problem, he has to complain about it on friggin' Periscope, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't actually use Periscope, so well, I do, but I used to, but meh. Anyway, FSCK. They say FDNYPQ. See, FD. Okay, so they're just give me some examples. So obviously I want to force an FSCK. We can output a debugging file, that's fine. Yes, assume a yes response. No fixing of the normal inconsistencies. I do want an R to rebuild the catalog B tree. Let's do an S as well. That also works. I think -L is useful, and then slash. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing it with dashes as like in DOS. And then what was the volume label? /dev/r disk 0s2. Nope. It just keeps saying illegal option -R, and it just doesn't let me do it when -R is a valid option. I'll just do FSCK-L/dev/r disk OS2 or 0s2, sorry, -S. Oh, well, let's just do this. Screw the -L. R disk 0s2 -S. Nope. The fsck command is not liking me. Of course it isn't. fsck question mark. It's very useful. fsck underscore hfs question mark. Of course there's no question mark. Alright, well, anyway. This is going to be interesting. Trying to get this to work. Alright. Let's see. Let's just do fsck underscore hfs. Well, my file system dev slash rdisk 0s2 dash. Let's see here. We want to force an fsck. We want to do a repair of a catalog B tree. Output debugging info. It's probably not going to work because it's going to tell me you need a number again. Nope. All right. All good. Okay. Finally, I got it to work. Enough friggin' dinking around with the command line. Finally got it to figure out what this thing is. And, of course, cannot stat FRD, the dash FRD, because it thinks that it's a separate command. What the heck? I thought that was supposed to help out. That's not a separate command from the fsck underscore hfs command. Why are you interpreting it as such? Take your hand, put it on your webcam, or in this case, my phone camera. Face palm the freaking camera when the terminal doesn't know what you mean when the freaking parameter comes up. My god, that's so stupid. Anyway, enough of me being stupid. I'm just pissed off about this. My god. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, none of the commands that I used were case sensitive, so that's not causing an issue. It just thinks that the parameters are a separate command from the rest of the command, which makes no sense whatsoever. So it just keeps giving an IO error. So yeah, that's good. That's very good. Trying to think if I messed up on the command or what. Trying to see here. Sorry, you're gonna have to look at ugly face here for a moment. I'm trying to figure this out. fsck underscore hfs slash dev slash rdisk 0s2. Let's just do a dash capital S, which will check for bad blocks on the disk, which I know there probably is some. No sense in beating around the bush, but you never know. It's probably going to say that the dash S is an incorrect command. Yep, did the same thing. So apparently I can't even put any parameters into this because it keeps thinking that the parameters are separate commands. That's just stupid. I love when things don't work your way. I mean, come on, it's not that hard to put parameters into something and actually have it freaking work. I guess I put the parameters in after or before I put in the volume name. I guess I'll try that. Oh, apparently that's how you do it. No, it was just user error. It was just user error. Because it turns out I'm stupid. You need to put the parameter before you put the volume. I'm smart. I'm not used to Unix, okay? I'm not a noob, but I'm not used to it, so yeah. Also, I don't need to be in sudo because it's already logged in as root. It even says so right there on the command line. It says root. So I don't need sudo. So that's nice. I don't need to deal with sudo. Yep, it just said IO error once again on the command line. That's not good. That's not good. IO error. Alright, come on, break. Break. I said break. Break. Come on. There it goes. Okay. Finally, it's broke out of it. Yeah, it's probably dead. It's probably dead. Whatever. I was expecting it to happen eventually. It's a stupid Seagate drive in the first place. But I'm going to do one last command with the fsck_hfs. And I'm going to do my original -fry. And I think it's going to give me the same IO error, but there's no sense in not trying here. No sense in not trying. Now that I figured out how the friggin' command works. So I don't know. What I'm going to try is I'm going to try to... I don't think I'm going to use the internal recovery partition. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just boot the internet recovery, format the drive entirely, including the recovery partition. I'm going to format the whole thing, and then I'm going to reinstall Lion. And, yep, IO error. And if it can install Lion, then that'll be good, because that's a start. Ooh. File record has hard link. Missing thread record. Okay, this is the kind of stuff I was looking for, but it wasn't giving me because it kept giving me an IO error. This is actually what I'm looking for, is information. It's saying reboot now. I don't know if that's fixed anything. Let's type reboot and see what happens. I don't think anything's gonna... Oh, reboot. Whatever. Volume was modified. So it says reboot, so I'll reboot. Let's see what happens. Let the drive spin down all the way. God, my screen needs to be cleaned. It's all smudgy. God, that screen is still irritatingly bright. And if it powers off, then I'll know what is going on, and that is the fact that that file check did absolutely nothing. But let's see. Let's find out. Let's see what happens here. I'm hearing the occasional click. Oh, I wonder if it's booting directly into the recovery partition. That might be what it's doing. That might be what it's doing right now, because it can't boot off the normal partition, but it's got the recovery, so I think that's what it's doing. I think it's booting out. Yeah, it's booting off the recovery partition, so I'm going to have to force a... I'm going to let it boot up, because I don't want to force it to shut down while it's booting up, but I'm going to have to force a boot onto the Macintosh HD partition unless it can't see it. Because it's found the recovery partition. Thank God that at least still works. So, I mean, at least you can use the computer, but, you know, not very much. But, yeah. This is why I'm so glad I have at least this machine, which works just fine. Thank goodness for small miracles. No, I don't need this file. Actually, just open up iMovie here and let's quit that out. I need to delete this old presentation. I don't need it anymore. Come on. I go through some crap here. Where am I at in terms of battery percentage? 54%. Well, still waiting. Any second now. We'll see what happens. Progress bar is about filled up. Yep, it did boot in the recovery partition. No surprise. Okay, so at least that still seems to boot. I'll take that. But I want to shut down. And then I want to boot it back up. Hold down Option. Oh, well, that's gonna help. It's not even detecting the main partition anymore. Yeah, this drive's probably toast, and I'm probably not making it any better. But I had to try it, so I think what we're gonna go ahead and do is do a Command R from here. Let it reboot in the internet recovery. So that's gonna take this is going to take at least a good 3 to 5 minutes. And in the meantime, yeah, I'm going to just pop onto Discord here real quick. After it does an update... Why is it that whenever I need to use something, it always has to update? God forbid. But yep, I think we've come down to the conclusion that the drive is now toast. That's great. That's just great. While that boots up, I'm gonna go ahead and lazily get up and go grab my other thingamabobber here off the. Let's see here. I need to open up my camera. Actually, excuse me. No, I don't need to. At least not right yet. Excuse me. I'm still not a big fan of having to go into settings and then having to scroll all the way down to camera to have to change the video settings. Because I'm going to have to set it to this. I am going to have to set it to that. So, that's just the reality of editing video on the MacBook. It has to be at 720p because that poor thing can only do 720p 30, and it even then takes forever. So yeah. But I'm gonna record while I'm live streaming. So yeah, that's just gonna be the way it is. So okay, well I need to set you all down, and then you're gonna get featured in my video, I suppose. Well, this case is really slick, so. If you fall over, I apologize. It's going to make a loud thud. Yeah, as you can see, we are live streaming right now. Thank God for spare devices. There you can see what I'm recording with right now. And yes, you are all live on the video. All two of you, apparently. But a casualty is... Whoops, I don't drop this thing. I'm wanting it to still stay streaming, but I don't want to make a loud bang on everybody's end there. However, we have a casualty, and that is the iMac internal hard drive. It's apparently crap the bed. That's about as much as I can really say without going into too much detail for those who wanted the short version. The long version, well, let's see. Because I went to go check back up on my machine, because I usually come back to it and I check everything, and then I might edit video for a little bit. And today I come back to it being blank. It just had a black screen and nothing. So I turned it off and turned it back on because I thought it just locked up on the sleep mode, which sometimes happens because it's a macOS High Sierra thing, and I was just expecting it to be a bug. Went to go reboot it. It just sat there and sat there and sat there and diddled around on the Apple logo with the progress bar being most of the way filled up. And it never did successfully boot once it, got to that point. It never really did get any farther. And I did get a little concerned, but I turned it off, turned it back on, and then booted up halfway. The progress bar was halfway, and then it just shut down. And I thought, well, that's not good. So I booted into the recovery partition after a few tries and no success. I didn't even boot into single user mode or verbose mode at the time because I didn't know if that was going to be what I needed to do. So I booted in the recovery mode. I connected to the Wi-Fi and I tried to do a little bit of troubleshooting, and nothing worked to my avail. No surprise. So I tried some different things like, just the very first steps of checking a Mac problem, which would be resetting the NVRAM or doing an SMC reset and other things like that, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I just screwed the exposure up, but give me just 1 second. I'm trying to do two things at once. It's not exactly helping. So anyway, let me focus back in on the screen here. So did those things, booted in verbose mode and single user mode eventually, but I did verbose mode first after I did a bunch of other things, and I found that it was failing a catalog file check or catalog check on the boot up process. And yes, for Rodoko or Rodoko, however you say your username, yes, it is camera reception. You bet. But yeah, right now I'm doing this lovely thing known as internet recovery and fixing autofocus, but more the internet recovery than fixing autofocus. And yeah, it's gotten to the point where it can't even find the Macintosh HD partition now, which is definitely not a good sign. And I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting this to happen at some point, because this is a Seagate hard drive. And as many of you know, Seagate hard drives are, they're not known for failing, at least not immediately. I mean, some do, but they don't fail immediately. Also, by the way, for the people watching the stream, that's a seriously different Apple logo than the one that I'm used to seeing, so that's how I know it's booting Lion and not, okay, there we go. That's how I know it's Lion and not High Sierra, because it's got a different style or different shadow design to the Apple logo. Anyway, yeah, everybody's getting a kind of a kick out of me making a YouTube video while I'm live streaming. Yeah, it's totally good for my internet connection, don't you know? So anyway, we're booted into the Lion recovery, and we're just going to go ahead and select English here. So we're going to go ahead and go into disk utility, and we're going to completely erase the drive. Just toast it. Get rid of it. Format the whole freaking thing. We're going to just erase all the partitions. Every single bit of this drive. Just take it out. And we want to make one partition. We want to call it Macintosh HD, as I always do. 1 terabyte in size, although I think that's going to change because it installs a recovery partition when I install Lion. macOS Extended Journal, that's fine. Apply and partition. And it partitioned. That's, well, it's still formatting the main partition, so that might be interesting. I'm listening to the crunching of the hard drive just to make sure it's not making any off noises. It's very hard to hear on the mic. It appears to be formatting, but I'm just watching to see if it'll give me an error. The only sucky thing is that I don't have any kind of FireWire drives that I can install the OS onto. Nor do I have any like Thunderbolt to FireWire adapter cables, even if I did. So I'm kind of screwed if this doesn't work. it does say mounting disk. Huh. So maybe I might get lucky? I might get lucky. For this person who's watching the stream asking what year my iMac is, it is a 2011, or sorry, mid-2011 iMac with the Sandy Bridge i5 in it. So thank you for stepping in and answering that for me while I'm doing camera reception here. But what's really surprising me though is it's still saying mounting disk. It's making little noises. Probably not very good noises, if I had to guess, but it's making noises while it's mounting, so I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording for the moment so I can actually focus on the stream. Plus, I don't want to make my edit times on the MacBook too terribly long. But it's still mounting, so that's interesting. Although, usually it shouldn't take that long to mount a drive. Don't dim on me, screen. So, I've got my doubts, but it did format properly, so I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna let it sit. Let it do its thing. And in the meantime, I need to grab my, beware. Beware. Probably get that sucker changed out with another, whoops, I keep typing in the wrong password. Yeah, you might get that looked into. But fortunately, I have at least the intro video on the MacBook. I don't really need the end screen at the moment. I just need the intro video, and I do have that on my MacBook. Although, let me see if I even have the end screen. I'm not sure. I've never checked. Oops. Aha! I actually do. Well, I was smart. I backed up at least the intro and the end screen. Well, I'm pretty smart, so thumbs up to me. Okay, so this is interesting. It formatted the partition properly, but the drive disappeared. So, that's not good. That's not good. The drive disappeared. Uh-oh, that's not good. Reopen disk utility. Yeah. The drive's gone from disk utility. Okay, that's not good. That's not good at all. And if I listen closely, the drive is still crunching away. So I don't know what to say. That's not good. Hang on, I gotta get that on. I gotta get that on recording. So give me just 1 second. Okay, so this is not good. I went to go repartition the drive, as you could tell in the last clip, and it just disappeared out of disk utility. That's not good. In fact, that's far from good. So, really don't know what the heck is going on. Well, if I had the money, I totally would upgrade to an SSD, but the only SSD I have is currently inside my MacBook. So, I don't feel like ripping it out of my MacBook, and even then, to upgrade this, you have to, for that person with asking me on the stream here, which is Timur Trip. Hopefully you are watching this follow-up, I guess, maybe, whenever it's made. Because, of course, I'm recording it right now. But, yeah, I would suppose a Sandy Bridge system would make a huge leap and bound in performance with a solid-state drive. I don't doubt you, but the only SSD I have right now is in my MacBook. And my MacBook is currently, my only surviving modern Mac at the moment. So I'm kind of screwed because I can't afford another one right now. Not that I couldn't in the future, but I just don't right now. So that's the problem. I could probably, maybe fudge another drive in there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and reboot the internet recovery, and I'm going to see if the drive comes back. Alright, follow through my promise. Hold down Option. Now, since I repartitioned, there should be no more drives that show up. There should be absolutely nothing. So if that's the case, which, yes, I was correct on that, since I did repartition the drive, there should be nothing. We just press Command R, and we'll let that reboot. In the meantime, what I'm going to do, shrink the preview window for one thing. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and bring up the import screen here on the MacBook. And we're going to get to bringing that footage on over. But yeah, maybe in the future, I might actually get an SSD for this, because I do use it quite a bit. So it might actually receive that, but we'll see. Because I'd also like to get an SSD for the gaming system, but obviously that reality is not going to happen for a long time. So I'm not even going to worry about it. If this drive actually comes back to life, I'll be seriously impressed. But I'm not going to trust any of my important files, because now I don't have any important files because I repartitioned the drive. So, yeah. Probably everything's still there, but right at the moment, you know, I don't know. There is a local repair shop that will look at this, and it's Mac certified, but that's like 40 miles away from where I live, so, plus that's money, again, I don't have right now to spend on fixing my main computer. And I don't have the tools to repair it myself, sadly, because I'm not certified. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead. Let me get back to actually doing what I wanted to do. Grab my lightning cable. Plug it into the MacBook. Excuse my mess. As always, excuse it because I'm never perfect at keeping my stuff clean. And plug in my iPhone 6S. If I can get it plugged in. This is why live streams usually never go public. I know, because it's not unlocked with a passcode. I haven't set it to share. There, now everybody can get my phone. I don't really, you know, you're never going to get hold of my phone, whatever. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there it is. So let me get those footage bits onto the computer here. What do I have in here? I have gone through my stuff and checked for old video files, but all right, there we go. I want that, and I want this. And we're just gonna go ahead and pop. Whoops, I wanted both of them. Live internet editing or live video editing as it sits. So yeah, let's see here. I'd like to do a spin in, and that's usually a 0.8 second transition. Whoops, 0.8. And then titles, I usually use overlap. Now, what should I actually title this video? That's a good question. Oh, good, we're all done. All right, eject. So what should I actually title this video? It's a good question. I think I'll just go like straight out and say, yeah, I know it's not too difficult to change the drive on one of these things. You just gotta have the right tools. It's just that I don't have the money to not only get the tools, but to get a drive. My Mac hard drive fail. I put fail in bright red letters like I always do with a fail video. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna stick with that for now, unless I have a better idea. Although I need to swap the color of the font because it should be the other way around. But I need to swap the font first. And then, oh my god, this is why I hated editing on the MacBook, because the interface is so tiny. I can't see the screen. It doesn't help I only have one. Although, actually, technically, now that I've disconnected this, I've already got all my files that I need for the moment. Move the Windows tablet. Yes, this is a mid-2010 MacBook. And it's still going strong on macOS High Sierra with a 128 gig SSD and a RAM upgrade to 6 gigs, which is more than the supported maximum, of course. It does have minor touchpad problems every now and again, but I don't really worry about it because it still works. And honestly, if this touchpad hits the bed, I'm just going to use a mouse. So it's really not a big deal because this machine is used and it's kind of in bad shape anyway. So what's the difference? Let's see, I'm going to make that 5.5 seconds. But yeah, this interface is absolutely tiny. And this is why when I was editing back in the day, before I had the iMac, you know, this was a kind of a big deal. Let's see, spin in. It was always the beginning transition, and I at least had a 1 second fade in on the audio. This is probably going to have to render, so it's going to look choppy at first, but I gotta fix the position of the title. Whoops. Whoops. That might be beneficial to put that in a different place. Doesn't help the interface is so freaking huge. There we go. Gives me a better sense of positioning. And not make the interface setting small. Yeah, see, it's a little jittery at first. That's another thing. You had to wait for everything to kind of sit and settle down a little bit on the system because it could just never keep up. You always had to let it sit and render and render and render and render and render, and then it might eventually catch up. And yes, I am smart. I do have a fan speed control app installed so that way it doesn't overheat. I'm very smart. It's spinning up right now. And by the way, this only has one fan and it's in the middle. And it gets really loud. But I'd rather have that than have a fried Mac. Especially a Core 2 Duo based one, but really, you know, whatever. And then I usually put my name in as a watermark. This is the extent of what I go through as a video editor. Except it's not a dedicated video. Magic. Alright. And now, this is an annoying thing I have to do with my phone audio. I always have to do this. Now, this is why I don't like to record on an iPhone, but I don't have anything else to record with that actually has decent autofocus and decent video. So I have to use my iPhone whether I like it or not. So I always have to go into the audio settings. And I always have to go auto. And I always got to go to the equalizer. And I always have to go treble boost. And then the audio will be at the proper levels. But then if it needs to be any louder, I have to boost it from the already boosted automatic setting to make it even louder so you can actually freaking hear me because the audio coming out of this is so dang quiet. Finally, we're booted up. That's good. So, disk utility. Can we see the drive or is it totally gone? Oh god, it actually showed back up. Well, isn't that just nice? Okay, let's reinstall macOS 10 Lion. Please tell me it is going to work. I cannot believe that that drive actually came back to life. I can't believe that. We can't customize it, but that's okay. Alright, now we wait to download another install of macOS 10 Lion, which is going to take a questionable amount of time. See, this is why crap doesn't upload on a timely in a timely fashion, because this 62 hours, my ass. Friggin' Century Scam Internet. What are you doing? I should probably stop live streaming and it might help out a little bit. Because live streaming ain't gonna help out. But anyway. Yeah, I probably should, actually, because I got things I gotta do. So if this does actually work, I'll make a follow-up video. I might not even upload this one. I might not even upload this at all. I'm debating it. Because I need to do a better job at doing the videoception stuff. But I'll probably leave the footage in there anyway. Even though, you know, most people probably won't watch it. I'll probably do a much more professional job at, like, describing to the viewers or whatever. So, yeah. So, yeah, I hope this works. I definitely do hope that this works. Because, excuse me, that drive appears to still have some kind of life left in it. I don't know how, apparently. But as long as it installs Lion, that's fine. That means that I can go and I can get, I think what I'll get, I'm going to get an installer file off the internet for El Capitan. I'll just get El Capitan, and then I'm just going to install that. And of course I'm going to do that using the MacBook. I'll just get a .app for El Capitan, make a USB stick, pop it into this, and set the date to the proper time, because of course these have those stupid and I need a hard drive health checker. What I said initially before you came in the stream was what I was going to do was, if this worked, what I was going to do was I was going to make a boot camp partition, install Windows, probably Windows 7, and get Crystal Disk Info and some other hard drive testing. And also, yeah, if Lion installs, then that drive will be fine. It might have just been a corrupted install. That could have just been what happened. It might have just corrupted the install. This thing's now rendering video, and it's now sounding like a freaking leaf blower or something. See, this is why I like having a fan control utility, because this thing is roasting the CPU right now. We're trying to render all that 720p 30 frames a second. This thing gets the job done. Don't get me wrong, it gets the job done. But my god, when you have to wait for it to render 720p 30 frames a second video, it takes forever. And I think it's now calming back down. But yeah. But I do plan on getting Windows installed on a separate partition if this works. And then I'm going to get some hard drive testing utilities, and I'm going to run those for sure. And then if it is a bad drive, then I will temporarily use the MacBook for my video editing, because this will work just fine, assuming the SSD doesn't poop out on me as well, which I better hope it doesn't. Of course, High Sierra has all the stuff ready to go for SSD support, so it should be fine. It's also formatted as APFS as well, so that's all nice and ready to roll. Which I'm really surprised that APFS actually works on a Core 2 Duo machine, but then again, this has a solid-state drive that's natively recognized as a solid-state drive in the operating system, and that was before I upgraded to High Sierra, so I'm not surprised that it does detect that, and it actually converted it to APFS when installing High Sierra, so I've actually never really had any problems with High Sierra on this system. I've actually been quite happy with it. In fact, it really does feel rather smooth for what the system is. I mean, it's not the fastest, because of course it's an old GeForce 320M, and they're not known for any high performance, but it does work. I just like this system better because it has a dedicated Radeon graphics card, and Radeon graphics are usually better for video editing and animation rather than gaming, which I don't really game on a Mac anyway, but yeah. Well, I knew that it doesn't natively support trim, but I haven't had any issues with it so far. I might look into that, though. Definitely gonna look into that, especially since this shit happened. I'll look into that. That might be beneficial. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta get back to doing what I need to do, because I'm kind of running late, so I need to cut the stream. And yeah, like I said, if this fails or actually succeeds, which I hope it succeeds, I will update everybody on that, because I better hope that it does, because I can't afford another drive right now. I really can't. Nor can I afford the tools to swap the drive that's internal in the iMac anyway. So, kind of in a lose-lose situation if that drive is actually dead. I'll have to go back to using the MacBook for editing temporarily. Not that I'm complaining, but it's just I didn't want to have to do that so dang soon, because let's be honest, a Core 2 Duo and macOS High Sierra don't really mix well together. Neither does Windows 10 and a Core 2 Duo, but whatever. It'll get the job did if I have to use it. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. I hope everybody enjoys their night. I'm gonna try to enjoy mine. Hopefully the iMac works after it installs Lion. because, yeah, that would be nice. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. And